are you? You're much bigger than me. You could probably tear me to pieces. I am pretty fascinated by you. But I am going to take a step back, just for caution's sake. Because I see that look in your eye. You're a bad motherfucker. Now, originally you had reminded me of someone else, and I was trying to place the face, and you're not him. But you could be. I like to dance around a little bit. Just relieve the tension that I'm feeling, being in your proximity. I was told you were a little bit of a philosopher. I'm not seeing it. You are a wisecrack, a wiseacre. That I can see very clearly. Just the glint in your eye. Philosopher, not so much. A journeyman. You are a journeyman. That is what I will call you. Journeyman. Nailed it. Suppose you could call me a lexicographer. I'm awfully fond of studying dictionaries, the composition of dictionaries, how they're constructed, etymologies. Sexy stuff, my journeyman friend. Journeyman, huh? Okay. No one's ever called me that before. But it won't be the last. It won't be the last, I can tell you that. You know, you get very close to being insulting, you know. Journeyman? What's so insulting about journeyman? That's not that. You know, you're right, I could pulverize you. I'm not inclined to do that, but I could. So you should speak to me a little bit more deferentially. Actually, you are speaking to a journeyman. After all. You have any idea where we're at? I don't recognize this road. Well, you're the journeyman, you should figure it out. I'm just the lexicographer. Well, I'm just still trying to figure out how the F we got here. You think your dictionary skills are going to be able to get us to the next town, or is it going to have to be the thumb? I can use the thumb, but if you've got any tricks up your sleeve, or do we need to hitch? Well, I don't actually like hitchhiking. I think it's dangerous. It's dangerous. You never know who you're going to get in a car with. You think anybody's going to mess with someone who looks like me? They're scared to pick me up. I figure we dangle you out front like some bait. You're innocent looking enough, maybe they'll give us a ride. I don't think so, honestly, I don't. Not with you. You're forbidding. You look like a giant. See what I mean? That's the tightrope. Because you're just on the razor's edge of offending me, and I do want to punch you. I would destroy you with just one punch, but I'm not going to do that. Because I'm civilized. I'm a civilized journeyman. But don't push it. Okay? I don't care how intelligent you are, how high-sounding your, highfalutin your vocabulary. Don't push the journeyman. Now, are we hitching? Are you gonna pull some trick out of your fancy little ass? Well, I don't suspect that I have any tricks. What tricks were you thinking that I had? I don't know. I just figured you read a lot of books. You got some kind of hocus pocus. You a hocus pocus lexicographer? A hocus pocus lexicographer. Yeah, I said what I said. Did I stutter? Did I stutter? No, you did not. No, I did not. Well, I do believe we have ourselves an automobile. Hello. Hello, sir. Hi. Do you have space for 2 travelers? Two ragamuffins like you? Well, sir, I am no ragamuffin, though I do appreciate that. I really fancy the use of that term. Thank you for that. No, I'm not a ragamuffin. My journeyman friend here could be considered a ragamuffin. But I wouldn't call him that, because he offends easily. Do you have any space in your automobile for myself and my journeyman friend? He's got a bloody face. Well, he does indeed. He was just in a bar fight. That's why we're hitching. We've been walking along this road for a while. Why do you get in a bar fight? Well, sir, that's a long story. And seeing as you're stuck in the middle of the highway, idling, I'd be happy to apprise you of the tale if we were able to enter your automobile and have ourselves a little trip. What do you say? I don't even think that journeyman's gonna be able to fit into my car. He's, by the looks of it, he's about 8 feet tall. He is quite tall. Journeyman, how tall are you? I am probably too tall for that car. Well, how tall are you? I don't like to brag. Journeyman, the gentleman just wants to know if you'll fit in his car. How tall are you? Last time I checked, I'm 8 feet tall. 8 feet. 8 feet tall. How the heck are we supposed to hitchhike if you're 8 feet tall? How? I should just jump on your back and walk. You can walk, you can take me. What are you thinking? This guy's not gonna let you in his car. You're too big, and I can't leave you here. You just get into too many brawls and too many fights with passersby or deer. Have you ever fought a deer? Nah, you probably fought stags and beat them. Sir, I'm awfully sorry to take your time. It looks like we're gonna have to pass unless the 8-foot-tall journeyman could fit in your car, which I don't believe he can. No, I don't believe he can. I'm real sorry I can't help you guys, but I think I'm just gonna have to mosey on along now. Well, sir, do you have any friends? Friends? Why would you be asking if I have any friends? Well, me and the journeyman, we're gonna be walking along the highway. If you've got some friends who have a truck, for example, my journeyman partner here could just be sitting in the back of the truck. Well, how much does he weigh? You know, I don't know the answer to that question. I have not asked him how much he weighs. It's not really my business. Well, if I'm gonna send my friend here with a pickup truck, and this guy's 8 feet tall, I gotta make sure that I'm not breaking my friend's pickup truck, sir. So how much does your giant weigh? I really don't know. Well, then ask him. You're awfully demanding, you know that, for such just some guy who's gonna give us a drive, a ride? I mean, come on, is this a little bit pushy, don't you think? I'm not being pushy, I'm trying to help. How much does he weigh? I don't know. Journeyman. Can I answer your guys' question or what? Well, I have not weighed myself in a long time, but I would say that I'm probably around 350 pounds. Good God Almighty, 350 pounds? Well, I don't think that's too much for my friends. You know what I'm going to do for you guys? Seeing as the next town is not for another 20 miles or so, you are in a dead patch of land, by the way, you know. Dead patch. 20 miles. I'm going to actually come back with my friend, and we're going to get a nice little pickup truck for you. You seem like you deserve it, like you're due for a good turn. What do you think, guys? Well, I think that's awfully nice. Thank you, sir. Thank you. We will just continue to walk. And, we look forward to seeing you back here real soon. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, gentlemen. It's my pleasure. What's your name? Well, you can call me Corbin. Corbin? That's an interesting name. Yeah. It is. And you? You could just call me the Lexicographer, and my friend here is the Journeyman. Or Giant, if you like. We'll see you soon, sir. Thank you so much. Look forward to coming, well, I look forward to you coming back, Corbin. Thank you so. Thank you. Wow, that's pretty weird, wasn't it? Yeah. I don't trust that Corbin guy. Well, you're 8 feet tall. Okay? You probably don't trust anybody. Why do you say that? Well, because nobody fucking trusts you, man. I mean, you're 8 feet tall. 350 pounds, you look like you just got in a fight. I did just get in a fight. Well, who the hell in the right mind would get in a fight with a burly, brawny, 350-pound, 8-foot-tall journeyman? Who would do that? It's not who did it. It's what did it. What? What? Yeah. That's what I said. It's what did it. Okay, what? What did you get in a fight with? Well, at first I thought it was a bear. What? You got in a fight with a bear? No. At first I thought it was a bear. Well, what was it? I don't know. Just think it's a fucking robot. How do the hell you mistake a robot and a bear? Because I think maybe it was a robot inside of a bear. Well, who won? It won. It kicked my ass. What were you doing fighting it? It was a cage match. It was a cage match while you were out front reading your dictionaries. I was in the back and fighting a robot bear. Not very well. Hence, this, whatever fancy names you got for this. Well, I call it a bloody face. Is that fancy enough for you? Yeah, but don't you have some vocabulary word for bloody face? I'll have to think about it. A hemorrhaging physiognomy. How do you like that? A hemorrhaging visage. What do you think about that? That's good. You know what? I find it refreshing that you have a vocabulary word for everything. You know, for a lot, it's been a while. I'm a little rusty at times, I am. I'm absolutely flabbergasted that you were fighting a robotic bear in the back of the tavern. Tavern? Yes, that's what they call pubs. Pubs. Bars. We were in a bar. Yeah, that's what I thought we were in. Don't know what a fucking tavern is. Anyways. What's that guy? What's his name? Which guy? The guy who was just here. That's, Corbin. Well, where the fuck is he? Well, he's going to get his friend, and they're gonna get a fucking pickup truck and come and pick us up and just take us to the next town. Yeah, whatever. I'll believe that when I see that. Yeah. Anyways. Sometimes you just have to fight a fucking robotic bear, you know? No, I wouldn't know that. Yeah. That's how I make a living. Well, I told you don't have to do that anymore. Yeah, I know, it's just a bad habit. Fucking, as soon as I know a bar's got a cage in the back, I just cannot help myself. Gotta go to the cage match. Yeah, but I'm saying you don't have to do that anymore. You're working for me now, okay? You're working for me. What do you need me for? What do you need me for? You fucking make dictionaries or something? Yeah, I make dictionaries. Okay, I'm a connoisseur of dictionaries. I'm an aficionado. Damn, you impress me. What? Thank you. So, you don't have to fight. You can just chillax and guard me. Be my bodyguard. What do you think? What's a lexicographer need with a bodyguard for, huh? What's the I mean, you call me a journeyman. I'm a journeyman. I like to go to bars and I like to fuck people up. Just for fun, just as consensual, but you know what I mean. I like to do that. So why you wanna... Because when I first saw you, I just felt like you would be the right man. What were you doing in the bar? What were you doing? I was looking for somebody. I was looking for you. I need protection. What I don't need is for you to be beating the shit out of people, getting thrown in jail, and then I'm vulnerable. I'm vulnerable when you get tossed in the slammer. So why don't you try to control yourself from now on? What do you think? I don't like the idea of you telling me what to do. Well, I'm your boss, so should probably do what I tell you, right? If you want to continue to get paid. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Just depends how I feel. Okay, well, do you feel like making some money today? Yeah, I do. Then protect me, that's all you gotta do, okay, journeyman? Yeah, alright. Okay, well, here we go. Corbin, it is good to see you. And you brought your friend? Yeah. And looks like another truck, too. Yeah. Okay, this is very good. Well, we can actually get in the truck, right? Well, not exactly. Corbin, what's the problem? Well, my friend does have a pickup truck, it is true, and he's in behind us, yeah? Okay. Yeah, and? Well, the fellow here, in the passenger seat, he's, an undercover policeman. Okay. Hello, sir. Hello. Corbin, why'd you bring an undercover policeman? Well, he's actually the brother of my friend who's got the pickup truck, so when I told Elliot that I needed to borrow his truck, he asked me why. And I told him. I said I saw two figures out on the road, and one of them's a giant. And I wanted to do him a good turn, go over there and pick him up. And Elliot was like, I think I'll tell my police friend Ian. Not because Elliot wanted to get you guys in trouble, it's just that Elliot and Ian are close friends, so that's why we're here. Didn't mean to get you guys in trouble. I don't hope you're not in trouble. Yeah, that's the story. Yep. So, gentlemen, Corbin introduced me. I am Ian. I am a police officer. So what's the story? Sir, you are quite a tall individual. What happened to your face? What happened to your face? You got in a fight with a robotic bear. Is that alright with you? A robotic bear, huh? Yeah, I don't take too kindly to interrogations from police. Well, I understand that. I understand that. gonna cause you any trouble. I'm just here to investigate, see if everything is okay. Everything seems to be okay. I just wanted to ask about your face. Seems like you've seen a little bit of trouble. But if you were fighting a robotic bear, it's perfectly understandable that you got a little bruised. How are you? I'm a little pissed off, actually. I don't like losing cage matches, you know. Wish I was kind of back there. Getting my ass kicked. But then just feeling the fire and just winning the fight. And I gotta deal with a lexicographer bossing me around, so I'm not happy. And then, of course, Detective Ian is here. In the front seat, asking the questions. You must be Elliot. I am Elliot, yeah. Elliot, what's with the shotgun? Are you sure your friend here, Mr. Police Officer, is okay with you just wielding a shotgun, walking around like that? Much less a double-barrel shotgun, which I like, but I suspect it is, Officer, you're worried about me being up to no good? This Elliot fellow with a double shotgun? Ah, well, he's my friend. Yeah, but he's got a sawed-off double-barrel shotgun. And you're an 8-foot giant with a bloody face. So you brought a sawed-off shotgun to talk to an 8-foot giant with a bloody face who has cage matches with robotic bears. Is that what I'm seeing? What do you think about that, Lexicographer? Did you have that in mind when you hired me at the pub? Over there in the corner reading your OED with a magnifying glass? Yeah. So guys, Elliot, I'm not too happy seeing a sawed-off shotgun. I like sawed-off shotguns, double-barrel shotguns, don't get me wrong. It reminds me of Mad Max and Road Warrior. But when I suspect, Elliot, that you're bringing a sawed-off shotgun double-barrel because I'm who I am, that I don't like. We don't see 8-foot giants in these parts very often, ever. You're gonna get in my truck. I need to make sure that you're okay. That you're not gonna cause me any trouble. When I brandish my shotgun, you're not gonna cause any trouble, are you, giant? Why would you think I'm gonna cause any trouble, Elliot? Just because I'm big and got a lot of blood on my face. Well, if you were big, without the blood, maybe I wouldn't have a problem. If you were smaller, with the blood, maybe I wouldn't have a problem. But sir, with all due respect, you're an 8-foot tall, 350-pound giant with a lot of blood on your face. So pardon me if I show up like Mad Max sporting a fucking sawed-off shotgun. Okay? I want to do you a good turn. I want to make sure that you and your lexicographer friend are taken care of because we are nice people in these parts. You got a 20-mile stretch of road ahead of you. If you're going to get in my truck, you're going to know that there's a sawed-off shotgun waiting in the front seat in case there's any trouble. Are you clear? Have I made myself clear? I might just walk. No. I don't want you guys walking. It's bad. Well, what's so bad about it? Why do you care whether we're walking or not? Because that's not how we operate in these parts. You know, it's not an accident that Corbin actually stopped and addressed you guys, made sure that you're okay. That's how we operate in these parts. We are a tight-knit community. You are outside city limits, but it's still part of the community. We know that you're walking from the bar. So you see, Elliot's a good man. Corbin's a good man. I am a police officer and I am a good man. We just want to make sure that you're a good man. What is a good man? Well, a good man in this context is going to be a man who gets in the back seat of a pickup truck and gets a 20-mile ride into the next town. He's not going to cause any trouble for the people who are trying to assist him. That is a good man in this context. Officer, are you packing right now? I am packing. Yes, I am, sir. So, Corbin, you brought a man with a sawed-off double-barrel shotgun and a police officer who's packing heat. Just because you saw a giant on the road. We want to do you a good turn, sir. We want to do you right. But you have to cooperate with our security parameters here. We want to respect you. In fact, I think I could speak for Elliot and Ian. We'd like to get to know you. We've never seen an 8-foot giant before, and you actually look like you're one hell of a man. Yeah, well, it's tough. Because I got a lot of testosterone and I'm like a beast. I'm a beast of a man. I'm not like most men. I'm not like any man I've ever met. I will literally fight a bear in a cage with my bare hands and then find out it's a fucking robot. And I'll still fight. And I'll still get my ass handed to me. So when you guys show up packing heat, first thing I want to do is pulverize you. But I won't. I won't. You know why I won't? Because I know that you're scared motherfuckers. And that without that heat, you wouldn't come anywhere near me. Well, yeah, that's right. Without these guns, you wouldn't be having a pickup truck back there take you into town. We gotta be sure that you're gonna be okay. Yeah, except you fire that shotgun at me, you better get me in the face. You get me in the head. Because if you get me anywhere else, you're dead. Okay, guys? So let me tell you something. I'm not the aggressor here. Okay, you understand that, Officer Ian? Elliot? I am not the aggressor here. I am just an 8-foot giant with a bloody fucking face, minding my own business, walking down the highway. Until you guys come up and you think that I'm a problem. You want to be all nice about it. You want to say that we're going to give you a ride into the next town. But what you're trying to do is control the situation and get me the fuck out of your town. Beyond, and so you could take me into the next town so I can be their problem. You know what it is? This giant has been shuffled from one fucking bar to the next fucking bar by the local militias. You keep seeing me as a problem. I will take a shotgun blast to the chest because this isn't just a normal vest. You understand me? You better make it the head. You better make it the head. You're playing nice, guys. You're playing nice, but what you're really doing is trying to get me the fuck out of town. Get me out of your hair. And after a while, it gets a little insulting. Even my boss here, this Lexicographer jackass, is constantly insulting me. He thinks he's being funny. He's not fucking funny. He's condescending. How you like that, Lexicographer? It's a big word. You're super fucking cilious. Supercilious. See, I learned that word from him. Supercilious. You guys are fucking supercilious. And that's not a fucking super thing. It's not superlative. Yeah? Am I doing good? Yeah, you taught me. He teaches me vocabulary words. But what good does it do me if everybody thinks I'm some fucking threat? Huh? And I'm a menace. That's the problem. You show up thinking I'm a menace, and all of a sudden I want to break these chains and wrap them around your necks. But I'm actually a good guy. I've still got a lot of aggression, and a lot of adrenaline and testosterone. But that's why I go and I fight robotic bears out back. And I want to fight humans. I want to fight you. You got no idea what it's like to be a giant fighting robotic bears in cage matches. Giant fights robotic bears in cage matches. That's the headline every time I come through town. That's the headline, guys. Well, me and the boys do sympathize, actually. While I am packing heat, considerable heat with the shotgun, I do understand. Do you? Of course I do. I know that you inspire fear into the heart of everybody that you see. And I bet that that really gets old after a while. Yes, it does, Elliot. Can't just walk around and be a normal man. Especially if I got blood on my face and I love to beat the shit out of robotic bears. But I'm just a regular guy who needs an outlet. So you understand me? Look at me, guys. You understand me, Corbin? I'm just like you. I am just like you. You need to go and you punch a punching bag at the gym because you like to box and get out all that aggression and testosterone and adrenaline. Same with me. And you like to pop off a few rounds at the firing range just to get out all that energy. That's me. You like to go and fucking hunt pheasant with that shotgun? That's me. It's a cage match at a bar. Tired of the lies, guys. People won't let me be because they just think I'm a threat. And I'm not a threat until you start thinking I'm a threat, and that's all you project onto me. That I'm gonna cause you harm.
You know, I can't get in the back of your car. You gotta go get your friend, Elliot, who brings his friend Ian, the cop. And now I got a nice possibility in the back of that pickup truck, but I gotta go through the fucking Inquisition first. I gotta be interrogated. Have I been listening or what? But you are doing an amazing job with those vocabulary words. I'm speechless. See? I got a brain. I'm not just brawn. Stop insulting me like I'm a stupid drone. Guys, I can't get into your truck. The reason I can't get into your truck is because you don't trust me. And I will not insult myself. Except in the generosity, quote unquote, of men who do not trust me. It's not generosity. It's just a pretense of altruism. It's not that. I won't get in your truck when you're lying to me. When you're pretending. Dishonor myself. Dishonor myself. Well, that's good to know, sir. You know, as local law enforcement, I'm just a little extra concerned, you know? Just a little extra concerned. Well, a journeyman is quite harmless, I can assure you, sir. Once he's done with the cage matches, he's got it all out. And that's one of the reasons I've hired him, because he's just a sight to behold, and I need a lot of security for the work that I'm doing. And if I can trust him to take care of me and not to damage me, I think I am confident that he won't damage other people, hurt them in any way. But he's got to have those cage matches. Yes, I understand. You tell me again your name? Sir, I just go by the Lexicographer, that's all. What is a lexicographer? Well, I do believe I explained this earlier, but I don't know if you caught my explanation, but a lexicographer is someone who concerns himself with lexicons, with dictionaries, the composition of dictionaries, compiling them, researching them. I'm just a humble police officer. I don't understand why a lexicographer would need an 8-foot giant as a bodyguard. Tell me if you could explain that to me. Yes, I can explain that to you. This is difficult to describe, but I'll do my best, officer. I'm creating a new lexicon. It's a visionary lexicon. It has to do with consciousness. So, when you read the dictionary, this specific lexicon, it changes your mind and transforms your soul while you're reading it. So, it's not typical There are typical words in there, but generally speaking, there are words in there that are not typical. They're atypical, and once you come across them, your mind starts to change, your soul starts to change, and you start to transform and evolve. And so I'm responsible for those particular words. And I'm responsible for making sure that they're in the lexicon and that they're attractive and draw the attention of the reader of the lexicon. They attract the attention of the reader of the lexicon. That's a mouthful. Yes, sir. How do you attract the reader of the lexicon? Well, each of the words inside the lexicon that would attract the reader have a glow and emit a frequency, and they have a kind of pleasant odor to them. So they draw your attention through smell, through the sound, through sight, and you're drawn to reading the word. Really? Like, what word are you talking about? Well, it really just depends. Like, a lot of words, like the word time, or even the word apple, you'll notice that there's just so much to associate with either of those words, or toxic, or legacy, or any of those words, but less so with a word like table. So I wouldn't be responsible for adjusting the word table or TV set, right? So those are words that don't carry a lot of freight. They don't carry a lot of freight. So they're not words that catalyze consciousness and help trigger the evolution of human beings. But if you see the word like time, well, then as the lexicographer, then I have to define time in such a way that helps your consciousness grow. They're making dictionaries like that now? No, sir. I am the only one. So, I suppose they are making dictionaries like that, but the they is the me. Why are you doing that? Well, sir, that's a great question. And it has to do with the fact that I want a dictionary that helps people wake up and be happier. How's that for an answer? Wake up. What do people have to wake up to? Well, sir, that is the perfect question. What do they have to wake up to? What is there to wake up to? So you read my dictionary, sir, and then you will start to understand what it is that you would need to wake up to. I don't want to spoil the fun. No spoilers here. But I'm not even going to buy your fucking dictionary. I don't need to wake up. I don't have any desire to wake up. I understand, sir. That is your prerogative to just do what you want to do with yourself. You fucking fancy intellectuals. It's crazy. You come up with the fanciest fucking ridiculous shit. You know that, don't you? Okay. Yes, sir. Don't give me that fucking answer. Do you realize that you're part of the reason why this country's so effed up? It's because you get your head up your ass. You're making the dictionaries that glow in the dark? Really? Well, maybe that's exactly what you need, since you get your head so far up your ass you can't see. I understand, sir. No, you don't. You don't understand. I'm tired of you Ivy League types. You come through my town, you sit in our bars, and you fucking make dictionaries. And then your bodyguard gets in a cage match with a robotic bear, and now you're out here basically threatening the simple citizens of this town. Well, sir, I beg to differ. We're not threatening anybody. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. You're so lost in your head. Of course you're threatening them. You see an 8-foot fucking giant with blood on his face? That's a threat. But I'm trying to explain to you, sir, that it's a threat. It doesn't matter what you think. Okay? Doesn't your rationalizations, oh, he gets it all out when he's back there fighting the bear. Doesn't matter these people in the town. They're scared shitless of stuff like that. Meanwhile, you making a dictionary that glows in the dark. I mean, what is wrong with you? Are you that clueless that all these things together couldn't just possibly... I mean, talk about waking up. Wake the fuck up, man. I'm trying to be nice about it. But yeah. Elliot's got to come with a shotgun. I got to pack some heat. Because I don't know what you guys are doing out here on the street. Well, I just told you what we're doing. I know, but what I'm trying to say is I don't know what the fuck you guys are doing. Like, I know what you're doing, but I don't know what the fuck you guys are doing out here. Now, I don't want to cause any trouble for you two. Because I suspect if I cause trouble for either of you, that's going to be a lot of trouble for me. So I'm trying to handle this, diplomatically. But I can assure you, officer, there is no issue here. I need to get you guys off this road. You, sir, I understand you don't want to get in the back of the pickup truck, but you're going to need to get in the back of the pickup truck, even if you just think that we're all full of shit. Because in truth, we are full of shit. At least we see eye to eye on that. We are full of shit. We want you off the road. We want you out of our town. We want you down the road. We want to wash our hands of you. Okay? Do you guys understand that when he was in there fighting that fucking bear, or whatever it was, word spread throughout the entire town as an 8-foot giant getting his ass handed to him by a bear? I don't think it was a bear. I think it was a robot with bear skin. You know what, gentlemen? I don't care. No offense to you. I don't care. I don't know what you were doing back there. I was just decompressing. Listen, I'm here. I'm guarding this journeyman. Excuse me, lexicographer. I'm guarding the lexicographer. That's my job. That's my job. Yeah, I understand that. Well, yeah, so there's not a problem here. I was trying to tell you guys that I'm just blowing off steam in the cage match. Like you guys blow off steam whatever ways you do it. I know. I heard you. But we're not 8 feet tall. 8 foot tall, muscular, 350-pound giant. Officer, can I explain why the journeyman is my bodyguard? What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? I want to help you understand what we're doing, why we have this arrangement. I don't give a fuck about your dictionaries. I know, but you notice how you were berating me? What does that mean, berate? You are harshly criticizing me. Harshly criticizing me. Yeah. Because you fucking Ivy League people don't understand how irrelevant you are to everything. You are a plague on this country. You're one of the reasons we're in the fucking toilet right now. I understand, officer, but that's exactly why I need him. Because is this pestilence of anti-intellectualism. Yeah, because you fucking talk like that. A pestilence of anti-intellectualism. Fucking talk like a man. Talk like a man. No one says a pestilence of anti-intellectualism. What kind of bullshit is that? Yeah, you do need a fucking giant. You do need that, because I feel like pounding your head in, because I know that that's at the root of all the problems we've got. You guys, maybe I'm gonna get a little intellectual on you. You're like the priestly caste that messes up everybody. The priestly caste with your head up your ass. We don't need you priests. We don't need your freaking hierarchy. We don't need your Ivy League schools. You know, if I went to Harvard, I'd get in trouble if I tell you guys what I would say and do. And I'm a policeman anyways. So you need a bodyguard, huh? That should tell you something. That should tell you something. That maybe you're up to no good. That maybe this whole world is trying to send you a message. No more bullshit. Okay, no more fancy fucking incomprehensible books. No more scholarly nonsense that no one understands except for you guys. That's right. I went to college. Big waste of my fucking time. Okay? Big waste of my fucking time. Should have just gone to trade school instead of getting all in debt. So you could say that I do understand. I get it. Because I saw how important you guys are. But how important you think you are. Boy, are you important. You need a bodyguard. Officer, I'm trying to change. Not just me, but humanity. So I'm actually addressing the very concern that you're talking about. I am addressing it with my dictionary. No, not the glow-in-the-dark, head-up-my-ass dictionary. It's a dictionary that will change people so that they can become more grounded. I'm not the ivory tower guy. I hang out in pubs just so I can have my pulse on normal, everyday folks. That's the way that I can write my best dictionaries and make sure that they're actually in touch with the people. Is that like a populist tome? Don't fucking say a populist tome. That is an... What? It's an oxymoron? See, you were going to use that word. I was. I told you I went to college. Okay then. So vocabulary is not irrelevant. No, it's not irrelevant. It's not irrelevant. Irrelevant's a big word. It's not. Well, it's not a big word to you because you're educated. You're an educated police officer, are you not? Somewhat. Somewhat. Yes, begrudgingly so. There it is, begrudgingly. I'm only using these vocabulary words because I'm talking to you. You're a vocabulary guy. You bring them out. I wouldn't be using these words if I were talking to frickin' Elliot or Corbin. Guys, do I use big vocabulary words with you? Ian, I never heard you use these words. I don't even know what half of them mean. See what I mean? See what I mean? Well, Elliot, you ever hear me use these words? No, I never hear you use these words. You like a closet intellectual or something? There you go. No, I'm not a closet intellectual. Okay, so you get my point. Officer, if your friends knew how intelligent you were, wouldn't they want to beat you up? Guys, would you want to beat me up if you knew I was intelligent? Well, we probably wouldn't hang around you if we knew you were intelligent. Well, there you go. Well, that's my point, officer. You gotta hide your intelligence. I can't hide my intelligence. I'm out here making dictionaries to make the world a better place. can't hide. I gotta do it. You know, I gotta be out among the people to create dictionaries that actually can help people and affect people for the better, because of the very things that you said. All the criticisms you've levied against academia are accurate, sir. But that's why I need my man. You pack heat, I pack muscle. And a bulletproof vest. Troublemakers like you guys. No offense, I know you just take my jokes. But you see, this isn't easy. We live in a world where there's distrust. You guys distrust colleges and universities, and you are completely entitled to do that. That doesn't mean I'm a bad guy. Doesn't mean he's a bad guy. I mean, why not just have a little faith? Why not just give us a chance, you know? I know you feel threatened by it, and I don't mean that in a way to make you feel lesser than or cowardly, but it's easy to feel threatened by either him or by me or whatever, you know? It's easy. What are you thinking there, big guy? I've seen people responding positively to the Lexicographer's dictionary. Yeah. Yeah, I have. What do they say about it? Well, they just say they're seeing the world through a new pair of eyes, really. They're really happy to. It's like it opens their minds, expands their horizons, you know? It's had that effect on me. I wasn't always this intelligent. The Lexicographer has helped me. It's helped me grow my mind. That's why I'm not attacking you guys. Believe me, I've got a lot of energy in here, and I do not like being fucked with. You can get a couple rounds off, but it's not gonna help you. It's not gonna help you against me. Unless you aim for the head. And guys, I'm not afraid of death. Or I wouldn't be in cage matches with robotic bears. But because of the Lexicographer, because of his dictionary, my consciousness is different. It's different. It's one of the reasons I can just handle you. You scared? Yeah. So I go to the dictionary and I look up the word fear. And yeah, you know, there's gonna be like 25 definitions that you know of, but the thing that's great about the Lexicographer's dictionary, why it's so different from everybody else's, is the consciousness stuff is the first freaking definition. The first 5 definitions are all about consciousness and fear. And the most spiritual or most consciousness definition is first. So fear, he's like, yeah, fear arises when the individual feels separate from the world. It's a contraction in the heart. It has him pull away into separation. Creates more and more fear. Well, that's exactly what you guys have been doing. Well, I read his dictionary. I already had the heads up on you motherfuckers. I knew what you were doing. I saw it in your eyes right when you roll up at a pickup truck. And I knew you were a cop just by the way you were looking at me. You were gonna cause trouble for me. Now, who the fuck would cause trouble for me if it weren't for, a cop? So, that's all the dictionary, guys. I don't know what else to tell you. Books can change you. But you gotta be open to that. I can't help that I'm an 8-foot tall guy. Maybe even taller. Sometimes I get bigger. But that's another conversation. How do you get bigger? I don't know. But sometimes I'm bigger. Might be what the Lexicographer's doing with his dictionary as I read that stuff and something gets bigger. You're saying that reading his dictionary makes you get bigger? Physically larger? Yeah. Lexicographer, what kind of dictionary are you making over here? It's unlike anything that's ever been created. It's like a book of life. You go to the dictionary, you read words, they change your mind. Your body's changed too. He does seem to get bigger. I'd swear at times he's like 9 feet tall. 9 feet tall. After reading the dictionary. Officer Ian, I understand your concern. This is just another book to fuck people's minds up. Yeah. It's the last thing that I want. And I've got to protect myself from people who think that that's exactly what I'm doing, but officer, I'm going to assure you that I'm not. What do you think about my friends? I'm sorry, what about them? Yeah. What do you think about Corbin, Elliot? They seem fine to me. Why would you ask? Well, they don't give a fuck about this stuff. They're never gonna read that dictionary. So even though you think you're doing all this good for humanity, you're just doing it for a select few, and that's really the problem, really. That's what I'm getting at. It's always a select few. It's elite. 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 You see that? That's the issue. Now, I tasted that elite when I went to college, studied the fancy stuff. But then I got my head screwed on right, came back to this town, and became a police officer. Corbin, Elliot, they didn't do it to you, man. They're not gonna touch your dictionary. You're not gonna affect them. You're not gonna change their consciousness at all. Well, that may be true. But you might read the dictionary and your consciousness will be changed. And then their consciousness will be altered because they're in contact with you. Well, that sounds good in theory, but the problem is, once I start reading that dictionary, then I'm gonna have to make a choice. Do I keep on getting the fucking glow-in-the-dark words? Because if I keep doing the glow-in-the-dark, I'm gonna lose my friends. I'm gonna lose my friends. I don't want to lose my friends, Lexicographer. So if I have to choose between your dictionary and my friends, if I would choose my friends, you understand? Yeah. You convinced you can't take your friends with you, though? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. These are old boys. Good old boys. They don't like big words. Tell me if you would be open to trusting that the dictionary has answers for you, even in situations like this, officer. Why would I trust the dictionary has the answers for me? Well, you just have to look up the right words, officer. They'll give you the right answers. They'll tell you how to interact with your friends and still keep the awakening process online. But you have to find the right words in the dictionary to do that. Yeah. Getting distracted by the bugs around here, officer. In this book of life, me and the journeyman have traveled a long distance. And I understand you're gonna think that we got our heads up our asses, but quite frankly, people who aren't in touch with these things, they're the ones who've got their heads up their asses. No offense. Not wishing to give anybody offense, officer. Excuse me, you just said I had my head up my ass? Corbin, it's just a matter of speech. And me too. Yeah, Elliot, I'm just manner of speech. Well, Lexicographer, that manner of speech will get you killed around these parts. Yeah, I know. So you want to retract those words? Retract? Yeah, you want to take them back? I'm sorry. Elliot, you just used the word retract. Where'd you learn that word from? I don't know where I learned that word from. Don't get ahead of yourself. Just like the officer said, Elliot's a good old boy. So is Corbin. We use a word like retract doesn't mean that we're all sophisticated. Sophisticated. That's another word, Elliot. It's a big word. Okay, I'm guilty of using two big words. Doesn't mean that I'm a big fan. of what you're doing. When people get too complicated, that's when the shit starts hitting the fan. Complicated. All right, I get your point. But it's like Ian said, when he starts talking to you, that's when the big vocabulary words start coming out of his head. That's what's happening to me. If Corbin started talking to you, he'd start finding the vocabulary words too. They would just start popping out of his head. But that's because of you. When we sit around drinking beers, we don't use big words. We don't talk about nothing. And we like it that way. Am I right, Corbin? I guess you're right. I'm not even listening. What are you doing up there? I'm minding my own business. Elliot. Well, fucking listen to the conversation, Corbin. We're talking about important stuff here. We're talking about these intellectuals. Intellectuals? Is that what you call them? Yeah, well, that was what I was trying to tell you, is that when I talk to an intellectual, I get intellectual. Well, then don't fucking talk to him, Elliot. Just sit here and twiddle your thumbs like me. Just let the police officer do all the talking. So what I would like to say to everybody here is that we notice what happens. Corbin doesn't want any part of it. But me and Elliot, we start to feel affected by it. Right when we start talking to you, Lexicographer. Maybe even you, Journeyman. Maybe even you. Because you've been around the Lexicographer for so long. You start sounding like him too. We don't want people in these parts sounding like you. Not for one moment. We gotta protect their minds. And there's an officer in these parts. These people are under my protection. I gotta protect their minds so they don't become intellectuals. Intellectuals are the problem. No offense, Lexicographer. No offense taken. I know exactly what you mean. That's why I'm making this dictionary. You're right. But I gotta have my bodyguard or I'll be hanging from the next tree. We all know this. Because times have changed, people hate intellectuals now. Because they're the old guard. That priestly caste you're talking about. Which itself is another intellectualism, by the way. By the way. I agree with you guys. You know, one of the biggest challenges I face is just to bring it down to earth. Because I know it's not going to be valuable. I agree. If you guys could just help me. Believe in my project. Well, even if we do believe in your project, Lexicographer, he doesn't want to get in the truck. Well, can we just keep walking then, officer? Well, there's the issue of scaring the townspeople. You know, officer, it would be really great if we could just settle down somewhere. We have to keep going from town to town to town because we keep getting into trouble with the locals. I can't have him work for me if he can't do his cage matches, because he just can't sit still. He gets really aggressive. I mean, imagine being 8, sometimes 9 feet tall, so full of aggression, and not having an outlet for that. And then, when he gets it all out and he feels better, he's got blood all over his face. And so the locals just want us out. Which, of course, pisses him off even more. He doesn't trust anybody. I don't know what to do on that wit's end. I've got to finish this dictionary. Humanity depends on it. Oh, well, that's just a load of crap, mister. Come on. Humanity depends on a dictionary? That's more of the same highfalutin fucking nonsense that you fucking professors are always professing. Humanity does not fucking depend on a dictionary. Excuse me. So you need a place to stay? Like a town? Yeah, the cities are going to hell, and when we're around hundreds of thousands or millions of people, we just can't concentrate. He's constantly having to protect me and gets into trouble, having to restrain himself. So we just realized that we had to go on the road and just go from town to town, so he wasn't getting constantly triggered by people who were constantly triggered by him, but we still run into problems. We need a safe haven so I can do my work, and he's not getting constantly aggravated by people. Yeah, that's what we need. Of course, when I get done with the dictionary, I'm gonna need people to talk about it. I'm gonna need it to go viral. I'm gonna need people to change. The dictionary isn't just about words changing your mind. It's also about concepts. It's about hidden information. It's about history that's been covered. Oh, Elliot, Corbin, aren't you guys kind of in the least bit interested in how things have been hidden from you? How you don't know the truth? I mean, that's not even an intellectual thing. That's not a professor university thing. Don't you want to know the truth? What truth are you talking about? Well, that's just it, Corbin. There's a lot of truth. In this dictionary is just the start, because when other people read it, they're going to be able to contribute to their understanding of truth into the dictionary itself. So it's a book, but you open it up and it's basically a computer that's being upgraded in real time. So the pages are actually like really fine digital. It's like the pages are like little sheets of computer that are upgraded in real time. I'm telling you guys, this is like the key. This is the new book of life. So guys, what I'm going to tell you is something that you probably have not thought about, but one of the reasons you don't care about the stuff that happens in the universities is because the universities is dedicated to covering up the shit that matters. So then you get turned off, and then you just do whatever you want to do, but then you also don't have any kind of interest in the truth. And that makes people easy to control when they don't even want to know the truth because they've already given up, because they think, oh, that university stuff is so stupid, it doesn't relate to my life. Yeah, it is. It's stupid, guys. I agree. But you've given up your search for truth. And when you do that, you're just easy to control. You're easy to brainwash. This book changes it all. You just open it up. You look into it. And you start to change. My 9-foot bodyguard is the case in point. He's even grown a foot. Just by reading the book. That's no small feat to grow a foot. How'd you like that joke? Yeah, the Lexicographer has got the jokes. Yes, it does. So you guys notice that you just talk to him and you start to change. That's my Lexicographer right there. I'm proud of him. You start to change when you start to talk to him. That's not an accident. He himself has that effect on people, and I'm here to protect him. We just need a place to call home. You know, get us a place, just a plot of land, a ranch, or whatever. There's a barn, and I can fucking fight bears in the barn in a cage. No one has to know. No one has to know. Although, if he doesn't need me to protect him anymore, I can't imagine what I would be doing with myself. Well, I'll say this. If we get ourselves a barn and a ranch, and you got your cage, and you're fighting robotic bears, and you're happy, I'm gonna be happy. You can always stick around in case things change and I need protection, or you can continue to up-level. But I'm not talking about going to 10 feet. I'm just saying you could up-level and upgrade your skill set and get smarter and more evolved and awake, and you can help me. We need foot soldiers for this movement, guys. Corbin, Elliot, Ian. We need people. We need people to get involved with this. I'm trying to rectify the wrong. I'm doing what I can to get us moving in the right direction, you know. Anybody who's a front runner, a pioneer, is going to encounter resistance. Anyone. What do you say, guys? You got a plot of land for me and the giant? Me and the boys might be able to come up with something. But it's gotta be low-key. And I can't speak for Elliot or Corbin, but I might take some interest in your project. I would not say that all my college education was a complete waste. It was just mostly a waste. It took me a long time to get my head out of my ass. I've been thoroughly distrustful of higher education ever since. Come back to this town, get my bearings again, connect to real people with real concerns. All that intellectual shit, just flushed it down the toilet. Complete waste. Not a complete waste, understand? Yeah, well, you'd have to convince me it's not a complete waste. Well, strange as it may sound, you were actually given a skeleton key for understanding the enemy. You understand what they do. Like a Rosetta Stone to read, to decipher the encoded deception. You were in the university setting. You experienced the encoded deception firsthand. So you got to experience just all the stench of all the lies and deception. That's normalized. Sorry guys, great word. Normalized. You became so dissatisfied with this repugnant stench of falsehood that she just fucking came back to this small, sleepy town. Became a normal man again. Became normal by rejecting the normalization of deceit. Well, now you know. Now you can help other people understand exactly what we're up against. Exactly. So it's not a complete waste, officer. You know the enemy. You know how the enemy works. Generally speaking, you had to experience them firsthand. But I will say that it goes much deeper than just the indoctrination of the university setting. It goes much deeper. But that's what the book is about. That's why I need this bodyguard. Because it's not just you guys. No, you're not the only threats. This book of life is very threatening to the entire established order of things. And that's why my man here, the journeyman, wears a bulletproof vest. And he's not exactly what you think he is. Caged robotic bears. He's not fighting exactly that. He's fighting something else. He is something else, fighting something else. We call it, he calls it a robotic bear. But there's stuff, things, forces trying to get at me from other places. And the journeyman is the only man I know who's able to protect me from those forces. I owe him my life. So don't you worry, big guy. I'm always gonna need you around. Even if we get a nice little place on a ranch somewhere. It's still not gonna prevent those forces from coming through. Who want to destroy the body.